Welcome to my drum school. Thanks for taking the time to check out this video. Hopefully it'll help you master some rhythms. Today we're going to have a look at what I call the tick test. It's a basic procedure that will help you master some rhythms, and then there are some test exercises which will help you verify that you've mastered your rhythm, so to speak. So there are basically 3 steps to mastering a rhythm as far as I see it. And it's presented quite early on, so you can sort of apply this discipline to learning of all your things that you're doing, whether it be rhythms, fills, solos, whatever. So let's talk about the 3 steps, and you can read it as you're going along. It'll be on your screen just right now. Basically, the first step is to play the rhythm, to read it, and to count out loud. So we are physically using our eyes, we're looking at the rhythm as we are playing it, and it's important that you're looking at each individual note, and we're also counting out loud. Remember, counting in your head doesn't count. You must make sure that you're counting out loud. You're actually developing your voice. So that is the first step. It's pretty basic. And at home, you might want to do it for as long as you feel you've got it, basically. In class, we might do a little bit quicker, just because we might be pressured by time, but at home, you definitely want to spend enough time so you're confident that you've got it. The second step is basically to put the sheet away and memorize the rhythm. Now, this makes a lot of sense. So we've used our eyes. Now we're going to put the sheet away. We're going to memorize the rhythm, and we're going to use our ears, funnily enough. So we're going to be really listening to the components of that rhythm, the sounds that are making that rhythm up. And it's basically, it's about the groove that we're trying to learn here. Any good musician will tell you that if you've got a good set of ears on you, you'll pretty much be a very good musician. You'll be able to listen to people and listen to other players that are better than you and really sort of work out what they're doing. It's a very, very big attribute. So the second step's important. You must sort of develop that. The third and final step is where we describe the rhythm. So I'll actually talk about that a little bit later. Describing the rhythm is all about a visual representation in your mind about where notes fit in a bar. So we'll talk about what notes we're playing, the counts that they exist on. It's a very good way to get that visual representation. It's also a good way just to communicate with your teacher or communicate also with other musicians, basically. One and two and three and four and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and... Alright, I hope you enjoyed that. So that's basically the first step. Now we're going to have a look at the second step, which is simply to memorize the rhythm. So I'll basically, this time I will not be looking at the sheet, and I don't necessarily need to count because I should have counted out loud in my first step and I should be pretty proficient with that. So I'm just going to play the groove, have a good listen to it. All right, so let's have a look at the second step. Alright, welcome back. So now we'll have a look at the third step. This one doesn't require playing on the kit. It's a description exercise, and it should always be done in this manner, the way I'm about to describe it. So basically, we're playing hi-hats on every 8th note. So that would be the first thing I would say. So I'm playing hi-hats on every 8th note. I'm playing my bass drum on the first count. I'm playing it on the and of the 2. We'll talk about that in a sec. So the and of the 2, there is a bass drum. And there is also a bass drum on the 3. And then my snare drum is played on the 2 and the 4. So what we've done is we've described our main subdivision, our 8th notes on the hi-hat. We've then described which counts I'm playing the bass drum on and the snare drum. Lastly, I'll just, before I say it again, I'll just talk quickly about why I say the and of the 2. We tend not to say 2 and or 1 and if the bass drum's on that particular note, just because it's much clearer when you talk about a count that's not 1, 2, 3, or 4, which belongs to a pulse. So I'll say that again. It's much easier to describe the location of an E count, an AND count, or an A count if you use that terminology. E of 1, AND of 1, A of 1. You're basically saying those counts belong to the 1. And the same would be for the 2, the 3, the 4. So that's why in this case we have bass drums on the 1, the AND of the 2, and the 3. So quickly, we would describe it. If I was doing it quickly, it would be 8th notes on the hats, bass drum on 1, AND of 2 and the 3, and snare on 2 and 4. The last thing I'll say about this is if you put a tick next to rhythm, you're really you're demonstrating that you've mastered the rhythm. Therefore, if you're asked to play it at any time, you should be able to play it. So we're not trying to teach you play something once and that's it, you forget about it. You really want to commit this stuff and internalize it and commit it to memory. All right, so that's sort of the final point on that. The next couple of videos we'll be looking at the test exercises. So once we've got our tick, what do we do next? And that kind of idea. Just remember, this is a procedure. It applies to all of the rhythms on that worksheet. It can be applied to your fills, other worksheets. It's a procedure. First, second step, and third step. If you just apply those things, you pretty much have a good understanding of what you're playing. All right, so thanks for watching, and I'll check out the other videos to see what we do next, which would be the tick test and the tempo test. Cool, cheers.